Alex, and I'm talking about another situation that I am in a lot where I'm working with clients on helping them get organized. What I hear a lot is the team will say, we waste so much time trying to find the documents we need. Either we're emailing things back and forth and we don't know where the most recent version is, or some things are saved on this Google Drive and some things are on this hard drive, and we need to get everything in one place all together so people can find what they need when they need it. So to help you show how I do this with clients, my friend Kim here is letting me organize her life, specifically her role as a volunteer mom for a synchro team. So Kim, tell me about this Google Drive that's causing so many problems.
You just described everything that's going on, actually. So as Alex said, I have taken on a volunteer position with the board of my daughter's synchronized swimming team. And of course that means it's unpaid, and there is a tremendous amount of work that comes along with it, a lot of which is caused by not things all being in one place, constant streams of email to 5 people minimum. You never know who's responding to what. Did you get the So I found this very frustrating, just looking for information that I knew was there. The team has been in operation for quite a while, and I knew there was knowledge that previous board members had accumulated, but I couldn't find it. And so Alex suggested that perhaps she might be able to help me.
All right, let's dive in. So first, talk to me about what type of information you need to access. What's going on with the synchro team that parents like you, these amazing volunteers, need to do and want to do well, but as quickly as possible.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so well, there's just registration alone. We need to know who are all their parents, emergency contacts, financial details. Then of course there's the financial transactions. We run a number of events that we host and put together, and so there's all that coordination to run an event. We travel with the team, so again, coordination, who's going, who's paid, where do we need to go, do we have travel and accommodation arranged. That's just sort of, and then all the things that come along with that, all the communications that come along with that.
Okay, so some of this information, it sounds like the registration stuff, is it on an annual basis? So you have a team of kids and that's for a year?
Right.
Yeah. So maybe you would want to have something that's called like 2020 team for the current year.
Exactly.
Or,
yes, exactly. Like you do your 2019-2020 season. So it's just like a school year.
Okay, so we'll do 19-20 season. Could be a folder or site, and then within that you would have so team roster and contact information,
right?
And maybe that could be a spreadsheet that is updated throughout the year, but at the beginning of each season someone just creates and then it's there,
right?
So you don't have to go through individual forms for each kid to find what you need. Okay. And then when you think about the different events, is it that, do the same events happen every year?
They tend to. So the only thing that changes sometimes is the date, but they generally happen around the same time of year. For example, we host a meet that usually happens in December. We usually host an event called a Try It, where we invite people who are interested in the sport to come and try it. That happens early in the season. And then we do another similar in the spring. So there's all sorts of stuff involved in not just coordinating the event, but making sure there are communications that go to people who've inquired throughout the year to make sure that the information about the event is sent out to people who've expressed interest. So there's a marketing piece, there's the actual event, organizing that, which requires sometimes coordination with more than one person. All of the things that go into making an event successful.
Right. Okay, so when you think of the event, there's 2 different ways that you could organize it. You could have, let's say, you have, event A, event B, and event C. You could have all the stuff for event A in one folder, but for every year. So when you're talking about let's say the fall championship, I'm just making this up.
Sure, yeah.
Fall championship folder, and you would go in there and there'd be all the stuff from the 2019 fall championship and the 2020 fall championship, and like same for each other event. Or you could have it by year. So in a folder for each season, you would have that season's fall championship, that season's.
Right.
So you want to think about how do you think people will look for this information, and what's going to be more useful? Is it more useful to have everything for a particular season together, or to have everything for a particular event together across years?
That's an excellent question, because I know that different people file things differently. And so I know how I think it should be organized, but then do you just say, all right, we are going to set this up because it makes the most sense to us, but then someone else says, well, that isn't intuitive for me. How do you deal with something like that?
Yeah, so whoever is on the team when the initial let's put a share drive together, they're very fortunate because they get to be part of the conversation.
Right.
And I think this should, to the extent possible, be a team conversation, because you don't want to create something that nobody uses, and then you're probably even worse off than you were before.
Okay, so I think for events, because they're something that happens every year, I think that the core part of that event should be the big thing. And then the dates, like you suggested, maybe each season slots under the event. And maybe there are pieces that are the same from year to year, and that's just...
Well, and then you could have a calendar in each year that lists what, is either a document or even a Google Calendar that has all the dates for that year, and you can link it to the specific folder or documents.
I didn't know you could do that.
Within Google Drive or
I had
Dropbox
no
or
idea.
OneDrive, you can link all sorts of things.
Okay, that's really good to know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that could be helpful, because then if you go in and you say, when is the spring slam? Oh great, all the information is in the spring slam folder for 20 whatever year.
Right. That's super helpful.
Yeah. So you would have by event, and then within that you would have, year 1, year 2, year 3, and each of these would be a folder to have everything contained for that year.
Okay. No, that's really helpful.
Great. And then the other thing you want to think about is sort of archival information that maybe you mentioned marketing. So if a new parent comes up to you and says, "Hey, my kid might be interested in synchro. Do you have a brochure that you could provide?"
Not that I've been able to find.
But is there that type, or what's
yes, it would be great if there was a place where this is all the background.
Or what are the policies of the Northern Virginia Synchro organization?
Exactly. So that is actually something that we did create this year, and it was a perfect example of what you described in your introduction, where we had versions flying all over the place, and when I went to put it together to send to the parents, I had no idea where the latest version was.
So then you could have sort of in a master folder, it would be synchro policies or Arlington synchro basics, and that would be static information that's not going to be changing over the course of a season. Maybe it's updated every couple of years, and it's just up to somebody to make sure that you're switching out the old version for the new version. And if you're not going to do those old versions, delete them. So many people save a million versions of the same thing. Delete it. If you're totally averse to deleting it, create a subfolder that's old or archived and dump stuff in there, because then it's not gone, but it's not cluttering up your box.
I'm so in favor of that, and I have actually been doing that, so thank you for giving me permission.
Yes, absolutely. Decluttering is a big part of this. So I'm sure we could go in a lot more detail, but was this helpful to just give you some frameworks on how you can organize it and who needs what?
It was, and especially, like you said, using the tools I didn't know that I could connect the folders to the calendar, so that was really helpful.
Great. All right, if you'd like me to help you organize your life, let me know. Thanks.